The man discovered something terrible while drinking tea. He sensed that his wife seemed to have poisoned the water. When your wife says you will die, the man clutches his stomach in pain, difficult to walk out the door. In order to prevent his wife's ruse, the wife looks at her husband, who has fallen beyond recognition. He gave a weird smile. He happily opened the suitcase. He took out his husband's laptop. Laura's goal has finally been achieved. He confidently enters the password, but found that the account requires two-factor authentication, meaning his facial recognition in addition to the password. But now my husband has fallen bloody. His face must be unusable. But Laura didn't choose to give up. He goes to his good friend Arthur's studio and lied that her husband accidentally fell from the building, showing great sadness about it. Arthur didn't doubt it either. He also expressed his sympathy for what had happened. This is Laura writing the victory. He told Arthur that he missed his husband very much. I hope the other party will make a model of her husband for herself, in memory of your beloved. For his sincerity, Arthur naturally couldn't refuse. Laura reminisced about her life with her husband, but suddenly heard a strange sound. He looked back and saw nothing. Little do I know his words. The lie has been heard by Arthur's apprentice. After Laura drives away, the apprentice told Arthur, if someone uses innocence to seek sympathy, then there must be something wrong with this person. Lena dares to say that, because he has a superpower. He can tell by the beating of his eyelids. Is anyone lying? But Arthur didn't seem to believe him. He thinks Laura has lost her husband, even if he is deceiving himself. That's no big deal. Now, I just want to try my best to help Laura fulfill her wish. They had a deep friendship for many years. He couldn't turn a blind eye to his friend's pain. But the apprentice was curious. Why did the three of them finally part ways? Arthur was silent for a moment, and he tells a story. It turns out that when I was young, they started a film company together. A set of shots taken during this period requires the actor to ensure safety. Water. Crowd attack. But I am a perfectionist. In pursuit of perfection, he flips it around and takes pictures of the water. The result was an actor suffocated to death in the water. I've been feeling guilty about this. He blamed everything on himself. Then he opted out. He left the company entirely to his two best friends. After hearing this story, the apprentice was also moved. He tried his best to comfort his master. And before long, he had built his best friend's model. Laura opened the cabinet door expectantly and it's a near-perfect replica screen. He couldn't wait to turn on the computer. After the first layer of verification actually logged in smoothly, Laura was so excited that she kept bleeding the model. Then quickly retrieve what you need. And when it was done, he called the office, asked the other side to immediately remove the discarded video negatives were handed over to him. However, the company told him what he needs. It has been taken away by a friend first. The news shocked Laura. He didn't have time to say anything. I saw my friend's figure from the surveillance. The woman's eyes were fixed on her motionless husband. On the model, Laura could only helplessly close the computer, and it turns out that after Arthur confided in Lena, finally plucked up the courage to face that dark past, and decided to contact the employees in the company database. He requested for video recordings of the original accident, although the company explicitly prohibits such behavior. But this employee is still, because of the long decades of deep friendship, made a decision that violated the rules. Friend skillfully opens the video. The memories that have been sealed to this day, exposed to one's own eyes. It's like being back on the day of the accident. However, Arthur did not expect. There is a terrible truth hidden in the video. The actor's warning light for help was turned off. This shocked Arthur so much that he couldn't say a word. He played the video over and over again. At the end, I only felt a chill on my back. Because the image quality, he had to resort to tools. Finally identified the culprit as Laura. Spanning decades, Arthur's heart is always shrouded in a haze of self-blame, but never expected. Everything behind it is carefully subordinated. The money situation when the truth is revealed. He was on his way to Laura's house, hoping to find his motives. Facing Arthur's questioning, Mom's apology, it means like sisterly hanging in the air. She mistook the actress for a deliberate provocation. Don't pay attention to the shooting. So he was given a warning. He threw himself into the creation of this work, so that every second is precious. But his original intention came from considering the overall situation. But I didn't expect it to come to a painful and step-by-step. He kept arguing, emphasized that this is a chain of accidents. However, Arthur was not easily shaken. He warns and calmly takes out the videotape. Let's cut to the chase. He asked Laura, does his husband know the truth of all this? Facing this problem that goes straight to the heart, Laura's response was vague. He just emphasizes that he always looks at the big picture. Then the topic spread. It's not easy to talk about your... Arthur were relieved. He was grateful for Arthur's trust in him and prayed to her husband's soul. May he no longer hold any grudge against his actions. Arthur seemed to know the truth of everything, quietly preparing to return home. And when I thought it would all come to an end, he suddenly noticed that the videotape seemed to have apparently taken by Arthur. Arthur was driving home. The state is getting weirder. As the car swings from side to side, his consciousness is also drifting away. With his tenacious willpower, finally, I struggled to get back to my home. However, when Lena arrived in a hurry, the master has passed away. As the news of Arthur's death reached Laura, he didn't even bother to play the memorial. I started thinking about the studio that Arthur left behind. Laura always thought Arthur's achievements are inseparable from the company's so he's taking over his studio. I also think it's logical. He was convinced that the lawyer felt the same way. Therefore, plans to take everything from Arthur for herself. However, unexpectedly, suddenly I saw Lena come here at an unknown time. The woman removes the statue of her husband from the closet. He couldn't wait to turn on his husband's computer. After password verification, Laura pointed the screen at the statue's face. It really went smoothly. Mom is so excited that she keeps choking on the model. Then she hastily deleted the secret her husband had discovered these, and he managed to piss off his best friend. However, my friend also has an apprentice. Just when women think they can sit back and relax. But suddenly I saw Lena come here at an unknown time. In a panic, Laura hurried out the door. Lena also gave him an apologetic smile. He learns that his master's last whereabouts are to find Laura, so he had to have doubts about Laura. Facing the little girl in front of you, Laura appeared very calm and pretend to warmly invite Lena into the door to discuss in detail. Lena asked last night the content of the conversation between her and Laura her master. Always avoids the question, just to express my sympathy for the tragic death of a friend. When sending Lena out, under the hint of wild eyelids, Lena is almost certain that Laura is lying. Master's death must have something to do with it. But Lena didn't say it all. He left Laura's house as if nothing had happened, then hurried back. I didn't expect the staff of the database. Worker was already there waiting for him. Lena told him his reasoning, and thinks Laura must be hiding something. Impossible to be as innocent as he appears. However, this is all just reasoning. They have no evidence. At this time, the man gave Lena a crucial message. That's when a friend calls and asks for a videotape. Video agent must be hiding the truth. They went through the room, but never found anything. Just then, the roar of machines came from outside. Lena hid in the shadows and watched Laura's movements. He knew that Laura had also come for that piece of evidence. Then Lena noticed a strange model. He had a lot of film wrapped around him. He believes that these films are the hidden truth. Laura was filled with pride when she got the film. He gazed at the distant scenery. Throw all the bags into the fire. Today is the 40th anniversary of their company's establishment. Laura decided to start a memorial network and come to her husband and Lena wanted to blend in. He disguised himself as an animal. Unfortunately, his costume was too conspicuous. Immediately discovered and taken away by security personnel. In desperation, Lena had to ask the database staff for help, use his identity, and they made their way into the meeting. Laura was giving a speech at the time. In a panic, Laura can only escape from the venue. However, at the models on display in the chaotic exhibition hall came alive. The crimes of the year are vividly remembered. He kept seeing fantasies. I even saw my husband standing at a distance and smiling at Laura's tense nerves finally broke. He jumped down with his husband without hesitation. When Rena arrives, Laura is not breathing. Watch a movie. Find well-known and constantly updated exciting good movies.